So if you're getting ready to relaunch your ministry on site, you'll be glad you joined us today.
Hey, what you doing? That's a lot of Post-it notes. Oh, your ministry will be reopening on site soon. You don't want to forget anything? Too bad you can't just learn from ministry leaders all across the country who've already done it. That'd be sweet. Oh wait, you can. Because we asked ministry leaders all across the country, if you've reopened your ministry on site, what's the one thing that you learned that other leaders should know? Turns out, they've learned a lot. Relaunching your ministry. What should you know? If 2020 has taught us anything, it's this. Life can bring surprises, and this includes new ways of doing ministry. So that's why we asked children's ministry directors and special needs ministry leaders who have already relaunched on site to share what they've learned. Grab your Post-its because you won't want to forget what they have to teach us. The first thing they talked about was new procedures. Now this one seems easy. Of course you'll need new procedures because really, who was taking temperature checks at the door before 2020? But now what used to seem weird is normal. So gather your team together and decide. Do you want to require masks, temperature checks, hand sanitizer, cleaning protocols, social distancing, RSVPs, waivers, and more? That's right, there's a lot to think about. But don't worry, you've got this. And if you want help, then join our Facebook group and download our Pandemic Procedures Planner. This list of critical thinking questions is a great place to start when planning your relaunch. So what did our leaders have to say about new procedures? Well, our most popular topic was the RSVP system. Leaders love it because it allows them to set limits on how many children can be in each room to ensure safe social distancing. Pro tip, keep a slot or two open for each room just in case new families visit. Even in a pandemic, it's important that church feels welcoming. And if you're wondering how to make a Sunday RSVP, try creating one at signupgenius.com and then send it out to your parent email list. Next, leaders share tips for social distancing. Try using visual boundaries such as stickers on the floor or carpet squares to show kids where to go. And don't forget to go over expectations at the start of each Sunday service. Pro tip, if you have children who have special needs in your classroom, sending out a social story to explain expectations before they come to class is very helpful. Now once you have a paper trail of procedures, you should be ready to reopen, right? Stop laughing! Well, according to our leaders who have already relaunched, something shocking may happen. Not everyone will follow the rules. What? And not just that, but you might also run into special circumstances. For instance, did you know that many people who have autism have sensory issues, which makes keeping a mask on their face extremely difficult? And people who have certain medical issues may not be recommended to wear masks at all? And what about children who simply don't understand social distancing? How will your church handle these issues? Will they make exceptions, or are the rules non-negotiable? Whatever you decide, be sure to communicate expectations with your whole team. If you don't, then your volunteers will feel stressed out when policies are broken or special circumstances arise. And this will create inconsistency in your ministry because no two people handle things the same way. So help volunteers feel prepared by asking them to huddle up each Sunday before service and give them reminders on new procedures before the day begins. Be prepared for someone to come to church and then get sick the next day. As much as we don't want this to happen, the reality is it probably will. So make sure you have a plan in place for how to handle this. The next thing that our leaders were eager to discuss was all about feelings, specifically what you might feel as you start back up. One of the most common things that leaders shared was that they felt really anxious before they launched, but once they did, they felt a lot better. In fact, leaders who shared the most positive feelings also had another thing in common. They embraced flexibility and adjusting as they went. Some shared that since they first relaunched, they had opened, shut down, and opened again. So learning how to go with the flow is important. Another thing happy leaders shared was about the power of giving grace, not just to those they served or those serving with them, but also to themselves. Grace for all. Seems like I've heard that somewhere before. The next thing they want you to know that it's normal to feel disappointed if your attendance and volunteer numbers are down. And it's also normal for your attendance and volunteer numbers to be down, so don't take this personally. Some people are not ready to come back yet, and that's okay. But the good news is that those who do come back are going deeper. So there's one more thing you can expect to feel. Grateful for the people who are digging in. Now, if you're still feeling anxious, here's something else that one of our pollsters pointed out. Remember that parents are voluntarily bringing their kids to church, and they understand the level of risk. They don't expect everything to be perfect, so do the best you can, but also take a deep breath. That grace thing, people will be giving it to you too. Okay, so that was a good start to learning from those who've gone before us. But wait, isn't there one more thing before we go? Spend some time this week reflecting on Joshua 1:9. And remember, we're all in this together.
Join us next time as we learn from other leaders how to turn obstacles into opportunities.